Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Make a Move Season 1. I think we are at episode 6 or maybe episode 7. Y'all, we are at that point. We are at that point where we're approaching the end of the show. How do we know it? Because they're starting to throw in those little curveballs. They're starting to throw in stuff that's going to piss us off, that's going to have us looking at them with the side eye. They're setting up scenes, they're setting up scenarios, and you can obviously tell. So I'm going to try my best not to get worked up because y'all know I can, but we're definitely at the end of the season, you can tell. So I didn't take any notes. I just kind of watched the episode. So if I forget anything, charge it to my mind, not my heart. Is that how it goes? Okay, let's get to it. All right, if y'all hear me moving around in the background, it's because I'm trying to get ready to, I'm doing a review and I'm trying to get ready to go out. So let's talk about what happened on the show. All right, so we pick up where we left off last week. Who's staying, who's going? Against her better judgment, Ashley is going to keep Kirsten around. I was a little perturbed at the conversation that they had amongst the ladies when Ashley talked about how Stormy was treating it like it was her date and she was feeling some type of way. But I do believe that two things can be true at once. I do believe that Ashley does have some insecurities, but in that moment, what she was experiencing was not just an insecurity. I do very much think that Stormy was not making the date about Ashley. She was trying to see if she could get a hookup, and then maybe she was going to worry about Ashley later. So I think two things can be true at one time. But what I didn't like is that Kirsten was not called out, because Kirsten was being flirty as well. Stormy was not by herself in this action, but okay. So anyway, Ashley does admit that she has to get to the point in her thinking where she knows that she is enough, and that's good. But I still think there was something going on where Stormy was not considering Ashley first in that date. I do see that as well. Okay, so we move forward. Kirsten is going to stay. I don't think he should. Cameron is going to stay for Zadia. Charisse does send, I want to say his name is Keith. I may mess up names as we go through this. It's a lot of people. I want to say his name is Keith. She sends him home. I'm conflicted with Charisse sending him home. I feel like if Charisse is going to solely be superficial, then she should have just stayed with Mushmouth, or the one that was really quiet who seemed superficial as well. She probably should have just stayed with him if she was going to be superficial, because I don't know, I'm on the fence with Keith. Like, I do think the travel thing may have presented an issue. However, I don't think Charisse ever had a conversation with him where if he to ask if he may have been open, now that his son was grown, to experiencing a little bit more than just going to Dallas. You see what I'm saying? But I don't know, maybe that was just a huge deal breaker for her, but I'm interested to see where Charisse is going to go moving forward. Yeah, I just don't know. Who else? I'm missing somebody. Oh, Vernisha does decide to send Jabari home. And you know what, you guys? I have to stay out of the comment sections of the clips of this show because, y'all, maybe I'm wrong. Do you guys see Jabari as a good catch? Are y'all seeing him as like husband material? Because over there in the comment sections, I definitely saw people being like, oh, Jabari is a husband. Was Jabari ever married? Did he marry the mother of his child? Now that part I missed. Like, has he... What I just want to know what's giving off husband material. That the fact that he has a routine, the fact that he has a job, the fact that he's home by 10. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what strong qualities are you guys getting that's husband material. Now, I'm conflicted with Jabari going home too, only because even though Jabari is not my cup of tea, Vernisha did seem like she liked him, right? And the only problem I saw with the two of them is if there is going to be some type of compromise available between the two of them. Because when Jabari talked to Liz, it sounded like Vernisha is going to have to make the compromises, and I'm just going to sit back and wait on her to do so. If she wants me, then she needs to compromise for me. I won't be doing any compromising. That's what it sounded like. So maybe if we could have got a little bit more conversation there, I would get a better idea of, you know, if this elimination should have happened. But she decided to do it anyway. She feels like she's going to be a better fit with Tabari because Tabari is going to understand her lifestyle a little bit better than Jabari would. But I just was trying to figure out why people thought they were such a strong match, because Jabari brings up a lot of podcast talking points. Jabari is very much I want to run my house. You got to turn all of that off when you get home. However, I need help with these bills. I mean, I don't, just something about him is, it's giving me pause. Okay, that's just giving me pause. And maybe it's just me. I never been one to proclaim I know how to pick them. Okay, so she sends Jabari home. Who else? I believe that's it. I think we got everything covered as far as who's staying and who's going. So now we do have some more blind dates. Help me, Lord. Okay, so I'm gonna get through these blind dates quick because I didn't even hold the names to memory. Zadia's blind date was a bust. Why do they keep putting Zadia with these younger guys? It's just not, that's not gonna work for Zadia. You need to always go older with her. But I just don't, you know, I can't even really recall the date. Zadia is more so into Cam. I don't think anybody else is impressing her at this point. The only thing I will say is, Zadia, you know, you ain't got to be rude to the man on the date just because you don't want to talk to him now. You ain't got to be talking to him like that. She kind of, the way she talked to him, you can tell she ain't even interested, right? But they do need to quit setting her up with a lot of these young guys. The guy she went out with, I didn't even really hold him to memory because I already knew what it was there. Ashley goes out on a date. I believe this guy's name, why do I want to say this guy's name was Kenny? Ashley goes out on a date. The date was okay. He is a high school principal. Ashley is familiar with that world, although she does something different now. Ashley used to be a speech pathologist, so she understands working with children, and he's a principal at a high school, I think. So yeah, that y'all know how them hormones and them teenagers roll. So he's dealing with definitely a beast every day, the hormone monster, if you will. And they seem to, you know, hit it off pretty well. She asked when was his last relationship, and he says 10 years ago. Now listen, Auntie JoJo not telling y'all to lie, but what I am telling y'all to do is embellish. If you've been in a situationship and some feelings were caught, and y'all was situationshipping for about, you know, 6 months, give or take to a year, just go ahead and say that was your last relationship. I know. I shouldn't tell people to do that, but you know, hey, okay, I didn't write the rules. I just live by them. But being single for 10 years, I know that does sound like a red flag, but I actually do know a lot of people who have been single for a long time, technically. Now, have they been dealing with people that never put a title on it and been dealing with these same people for years? Yes. Yes. And that's why I always be like, that's a relationship to me. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all catching feelings, y'all having sex, y'all spending holidays together, talk about y'all not. Let me calm down, because y'all not finna get my pressure up. Y'all not finna get my pressure up, I'm telling you. But the high school principal been in these situationships for 10 years. So Ashley is just kind of like, whoa, that's really a long time. It seems she can't really catch a break. The other one just was out of a relationship, and this one been in situationships for 10 years. But I will say, you do meet a lot of people that's been kind of single for, it's not a surprise to me when I meet people who've been single for 4 or 5 years. It's really not. It happens more than you think. So I'm not sure what Ashley is going to do about him. I don't know what kind of other chemistry I saw they had, but I thought the date went well enough. And that's all I got there. Okay, so the next date we have Sharice, and who was her blind date, y'all? Is it Dyson? That's not the name. I know I'm getting the name wrong, but it starts with the D. The blind date was cool. What happened later was strange, but the blind date was cool. Seemed like he was kind of more Sharice's speed. He had plenty of conversation. He was joking. He's in pharmaceutical sales. He's living his dream life. He got his dream job. He got his dream house. He looking for his dream woman. I was like, well, this sound all right to me. It sounded good. And Sharice is so funny, you guys, because she always talks about how she wants to go on a date with a man that's going to have a conversation and that's going to talk to her and all of this stuff. But Sharice is almost as dry as mute mouth Maurice. To me, she's not very conversational either, but she wants a lot of conversation when she goes out with somebody. It's just the funniest thing to me. But anyway, y'all, I thought the date was decent enough, and they did seem to have things in common as far as traveling. He said that Greece is on his list, and she's looking for a travel partner. So I guess we're going to see how this goes with the two of them. Vernisha goes out with Contrail. I don't know what his name is, but baby boy was stressed. I was stressed for him. He was talking as if he was nervous. The conversation wasn't bad. I just think the man was nervous. Vernisha is so funny because I can't really figure out if she want a man or not. So this is what I'm saying. For Vernisha strikes me as the type of person who is used to being with a boss. And when I say a boss, I mean like somebody, when you walk in the room with them, they get to pulling out white tablecloths and carrying on. He used to have a past, and he might still be in his past, if you know what I mean. She just strikes me as that type of woman. She also strikes me as the type of woman that's always got a man in the background somewhere. So she dating to find somebody, but she already got somebody. And I don't know why she give me the vibe. She just like one of them girls that you think don't need a +1, and then she show up to a wedding with somebody she been dating for 2 years. And it's just something about the way that she carries herself on dates. She be like, oh yeah, people don't know how to talk to each other. Oh yeah, my mama the same way. You need to find you a husband, girlfriend. She's just so nonchalant about it. And it could be she's in her 40s. She's raised her girls. She might just be comfortable. And a lot of times as women, as much as we hate to admit it, some of us do enjoy that solitude and that time by ourselves. And even though we want somebody to share life with, we constantly think about, my goodness, I'm going to have to give up my space and my life and the little pieces of my home and how I spend my time. Like, I definitely think about that. And I've talked to friends who are like, I want it, but once I got it, girl, I definitely miss my little space. So Vernisha just strikes me as a type that's like, I want it, but y'all, I ain't rushing because I'm going to have to give some stuff up. But the date was decent. I just think the guy was nervous. So then Zadia is going to have a birthday party. So she's telling Ashley about the birthday party. Ashley is talking to her about her dates and things she's had going on. And Zadia was like, oh, well, since Donald's still in the picture, you going to invite him to my party? And Ashley was like, girl, I was going to ask you if I could invite him. So she is going to invite Donald. She said they've been talking since. And we get to Zadia's birthday party. And this is where they piss me off. I don't believe that anything is wrong with Cam and Zadia. I really don't. Now, Cam does strike me as a guy that came on Ready to Love a couple seasons ago. I don't remember his name, but he was kind of like the computer nerd guy that everybody liked. And, all these girls felt like they were giving him, not all of these girls, but a lot of the like real cute girls was like, I'm going to go for something different. I'm going to give this guy a chance. And he ended up playing them women. 1 minute he was saying he don't get the girls he want, and then when he got the girls he want, he played them. I kind of wonder if Cam about to do that to Zadia, but I ain't got no proof. But I really hope this is not a setup for the downfall of their connection, because they've been going pretty solid and their dates have been pretty good. So she is noticing that Cam is still not at her party. Zadia makes the comment that she gets tired of Cam saying, I'm making time for you, or I'm making sure that I make time. I'm making sure that I'm available. She doesn't want to know all of that. Now, see, this is where dating requires a level of delusion, right? And if you ain't dated in a long time, don't get in this conversation, okay? This is for folks who've been doing some dating. You almost got to have a certain level of it just so you can stay in the game. Because if you get the glass half empty, and I promise you, you're going to pull yourself completely out. That's what I did. So everybody got a level of delusion. The men are delusional. The women are delusional too. Okay. Everybody got just a smidge of the Lulu, right? Just a smidge. A smidge is good. Too much is bad. Okay. So I think Zadia is being delusional in the space where she doesn't want Cam to tell her that he's making time or make it known that he's making time. But she also wants a man that is ambitious. You can't, ladies, you do know that it's hard to get both, right? Like, and I'm not one of them ones that's, trying to bring you down a peg. I don't believe in people lowering their standards to the ground, because baby, ain't nobody got time for that. But I will say that if you want a man that's ambitious, chances are his time is going to be a little bit more tied up than a man who, I won't say is not ambitious, but maybe has just like a steady occupation that doesn't require a lot of his time, doesn't really make a whole lot of money, but it does well enough for him. There is a difference in the time that they're going to have. And I do think Cam is trying to create a certain life for himself, but he is a busy guy. He's a busy man. And yeah, he may not be able to be up under you. So if you're a woman that likes somebody up under you, a man that's extremely ambitious may not be somebody that you want to date. Especially not if that's his constant, like he's on a constant high. Now I'm not saying that somebody where it's never enough. There's the difference between ambition and somebody where it's never enough for them. I'm definitely not saying do that. But Cam does seem like he's very ambitious. And so I don't think it's realistic for Zadia to say, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want you to tell me that, because, you know, he's just letting you know, like, I'm busy, but you still a priority. But not tonight, because I don't think he don't end up showing up to that party. Who else don't show up to the party is Kirsten. Ashley is upset about it, but I'm like, what you upset for, baby? Because you invited your other man anyway. I left home to be with my side piece. You invited Donald up there anyway. So Donald come out there and he's swinging her around. He picking her up. He looked like he was happy to see her. I said, hey, just bring him on back. Okay, bring him on back like Christ. You know what? Now that wasn't a good joke. I might have to delete that, but just bring him on back, resurrect him, bring him on back into the fold. Because that's her strongest connection, in my opinion. I don't think Kirsten is feeling her, and I don't understand how she can't see it. She doing the same thing that she did with old dude that caught the swine flu or whatever it was he had. She doing the exact same thing. Like, I felt like she was his second choice. He liked him some Tiffany, but because Tiffany was acting up too much, he went ahead and got with Ashley, but still was probably texting or calling Tiffany, in my opinion. But I don't think Kirsten is it for her. I think Kirsten is just on here so he can get his name out and date some other women, but he don't end up showing up, but Donald does, and she has a great time with Donald. Sharice is talking to Mizell, which is one of her connections. Homeboy, the one whose name started with a D, Dyson, or whatever, the one that's in pharmaceutical sales. We thought that he was gonna be a good match, but y'all, he been doing a little too much sipping. And I know it's done happened to the best of us. You get somewhere, you don't know nobody, so you have a few drinks so you can loosen up. Next thing you know, you talking too much and you laughing too loud. And that's what happened to that brother. I said, oh, I feel bad for him, y'all. I feel bad for him. I don't think he meant for it to go this far. He didn't know them drinks was gonna be so strong. Baby, he get to speaking voulez-vous share moi, oui, and he don't know what he talking about. He making all kind of jokes, and Sharice is turned off. So I don't know what's gonna happen with him. Contrail, he's still nervous talking to Vernisha. I think he's a nice guy. He just wasn't ready to be on TV, but he effing that food plate up. I said, get it, baby, get that free food, okay? Camera or no camera, let me get my plate. Tabari is cool, but Vernisha is wondering if he's just like a little bit too playful for her. But I think we have that to see. We're going to have to see what happens with the two of them. But he is like, let's just go get in the car right now. Let's leave. And he say it right in front of her other connection. Who else is at the party? Am I missing somebody? Well, Cam ain't there, so, you know, I can't even talk about them. And Zadia is definitely feeling some type of way. So they kind of leave off on a cliffhanger of what's going to happen next week. But what we do know is that Mizell also got Vernisha's number. And so Vernisha is like, Mizell got my number. We've been texting and we going out. I said, wait a minute, Vernisha. Now you gave him the number. And now you just letting Sharice know that you're going to be going out with Mizell. And she was like, oh, I'm glad he called you because he ain't called me. I said, Lord have mercy. Why? Why, Lord? Mizell, why you ain't let Sharice know that you tried to slide? Oh, God. Y'all, I can't take it. They doing the most. They are doing the most. I feel like I'm yelling. So they kind of left off right there. At this point, I'm hoping Donald is coming back. I hope Cam gives us something, and I hope Zadia don't, whatever he tells her, if it's good, I hope Zadia don't kick him to the curb. And if it's not a good reason, then, you know, Zadia got to do what she got to do. But she don't have no other prospects. They don't even give her good blind dates. I got a feeling Vernisha is probably going to call Jabari back. I worry about her and Jabari. I really do. I just want to see if they can have a conversation about things they need to compromise on, and then we can see if that will work. But asking Vernisha to pull away from her business or not do things that, involve the life. I think she probably does some type of promotion as well. I don't know if that necessarily is going to work. So maybe you could work it down to she only does it on the weekends or something like that. And then, you may accompany her from time to time. Like, I just want to hear more of a compromising conversation and less of the podcast bro talk and more of just us going on a date. It's really hard to go on a date that's trying to analyze you with those alpha male strategy talking points. And because I'm on YouTube and they come up in my feed all the time, I know when a guy is interviewing me to see if I fit the criteria of a modern woman, as they say, or if I'm somebody that he wants to deal with. And I don't want to be interviewed, just like I'm not going to interview you. So you guys let me know what y'all thought about that. Do you think people made the right decision? What do you think about Cam and Zadia? Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to see you all for the next one. Bye.